I mean, where is the point of creation?
The point of creation is where it all began. We have several theories, several school of thoughts, but what we know is what we know. The point of creation is at the center, the epicenter of the world. And the epicenter of the world is where the Yoruba people emerged from. And that is the rallying point of the source of the Yoruba people, and that's the source of the entire mankind. And that's called the land of expansion, where every human dispersed from the surface of the earth.
Is Oduduwa the progenitor?
Oduduwa is to we, the Yoruba people.
It is said that in the beginning there were 16 orishas, or rumores, plus Oshun. Some people have said that Oshun is the mother of humanity. Is this correct?
Well, in that perspective, that was when they were in the spirit form, before they were transformed to superhumans and humanity, to man, as it were. Yes, we had the 16 elders, and out of the 16 elders, they decided to form a structure of hierarchy amongst themselves. And that's where even Oduduwa emerged as the one that has the anointed one with the crown that came from the heavens. And that is Ogbe Meji, Ejiogbe. And that's the head of all the 16 elders. The 16 elders, Oshun is one of them as well. And Oshun actually worked with the 16 elders and was the female that he didn't give recognition to. And as a result of not giving recognition to Oshun, she became a deity of multiplication, the deity that does transformation of how humanity emerges. Until date, there's no human being that will emerge that there won't be water breakage first before mankind is being brought to the world. And that's the thing in line with the deity of Oshun.
Who started Ifa? There are stories that Eledumare threw a bag of Ifa, and that it was Oshun who picked it, but rats, etc. Some say it was Orunmila who actually got it. What is the story of Ifa?
Well, Ifa is the voice of God. And Orunmila was the luckiest among the 16 elders that was there when the whole creation started. He was the only witness that was there through the Ifa couples. He saw it all. And that's why we call Orunmila Eleri, the witness for sharing everything. The witness of how nature started, the witness of how humanity started, the witness of how angelic beings started, and how everything has been distributed till date. So Ifa, that's the real and true broad meaning of it. It's the voice of God Almighty. Almighty is into infinite, and the voice of Almighty is through the corpus of Ife. So that's the meaning. Every other analysis we're just given ascribed to several ways of emergence of Ife. But Orunmila, being the custodian of it, saw it from the beginning to the end and came in different forms till it was even transformed to pure humanity, and from his generation till date.
Thank you, Captain. Ife, which academicians call African Information Retrieval System, is also available in, is known as AFA in Igbo, FA in, and according to Ata of Igala, he says that Ife is the connecting link between all of us, all indigenous Africans. Can we see what is the link between, to start with, Igbo, then Igala?
Well, at some point, 60,000 years ago, the entire population of the world was less than 100,000 people. Way less than 100,000 people. And what essence of survival that bonds all of us together are along the river tributaries. Because water is life. Survival means along every water channel. So we live together right at the center of the universe before we started dispersing. So, different racial background, at some point the whole world was speaking one voice, one language, before it started breaking and started getting corrupt, and people started migration, and the land kept expanding through several disintegration of nature, volcanic eruption, rock sedimentation, fragmentation, afforestation, and all sorts of things that kept happening all over the world. How nature started to flourish. So therefore, what binds us together is the voice of God, is the voice that makes reference to the past, to the present, and to the future. Not only the Igbos call it Afa. If you go as far as Ghana, go as far as the Ashanti and the people, the Ga people, several tribes all the way to Ethiopia, it is called Afa. And it is the voice of our ancestors and voice of God. So our link with the Igbos are deeply rooted amongst the 16 elders. The 16 elders came to be to form the racial background of the entire humanity.
Can we see a writer called Onyeghidi Betty, GY, in 2006, wrote that Ojo, somebody called Ojo, who is now called Ijo, was the first son of Odua, who migrated with Ogun to the waters. Have you heard of this version?
Well, it's very correct to some extent, because the Ijos are our people, and the Shekiris too are our people. Oduduwa had many children at every location, because Oduduwa moved around the world, all the four corners of the world. So whenever Oduduwa gets to a particular location, the first child there will definitely say the first son at a particular spot. We'll move to another location, we'll say the first son at a particular point. So Oduduwa was the father of the entire black people, populated the entire black race to a large extent, because the entire 16 elders of the world gave the leadership to Oduduwa, and leadership and kingship emerged naturally from there. So, what is important here is for us to know that we are all linked together. Before artificial boundaries in Africa, we only had about 6 to 10 kingdoms across the entire continent of Africa. And as a result, we were all brothers and sisters by blood, because we kept expanding and we kept migrating across the entire continent of sub-Saharan Africa.
Thank you. Apart from Ifa, another similarity is the leopard and crocodile. Can you please say what is the essence of, especially in the forest, you have the leopard. In the drier lands of the Middle Belt, some part have the crocodile.
Well, the truth be told, we Africans are connected to animals, because at some point we had relationship together, and we will see the behavior and behavioral pattern of some animals. Leopard, they're the wisest animal in the jungle. They are very smart and very dynamic in everything they do. And they are very feisty. They are known to be warriors. And we are known to be warriors naturally as the people of the black continent. And every portion of people out of Africa use leopard as a common denominator, as a common binding factor that shows the warrior nature in us. The same with the other animal that is in the water. The other animal that is in the water is connected to rainfall and very powerful. Very, very powerful in the water. And as a result, there is a spiritual connection to Oni. And Oni, because of that connection, it's very common to every black person across the entire continent of Africa.
Is it the one called Uluwari?
Absolutely. You're correct. Uluwari, in charge of rainfall. Oni has the spiritual powers to command rainfall from the mangrove or the marshy land. It is the God's given power connected to Oni.
So people have said that our moral standards are, I mean, they've questioned our moral standards. Some say it's a law of retributive justice, which is much higher than the law of messianic justice. The law of retributive justice is whatever you do comes back. Is that the moral code, or do we believe in a figure who has died for us and therefore the original traditional African moral standard?
The original moral standard of we Africans is basically law of retributive justice. That's who we are, and that's what we should stand for. Whatever you do, you will reap it. Whatever you do good, you reap that good. You do bad, you reap that bad. At some point, even if you don't reap it, your generation yet unborn will reap it. So the Messianic one is very, very recent in the world. It's less than 2,100 years. It's not even up to that, because it was even after some certain things that happened in the world, certain events that wasn't fully even covered, because it just covered a section, and the whole world decided to take it upon. But underlining factor of that kind of belief still has a strong link to retributive justice, because the preaching of retributive justice is for you to be fair, just, and be equitable in everything you do. And that's basically the Abrahamic belief in things we do.
Thank you. Apart from them trying to say our moral standards were low, our productive, can you tell us our level of our production technology before the advent of the European glass?
Well, basically we're a very ancient civilization, and we're the cradle of civilization. Everything pretty much started from horse. Everything you're seeing in the world, yes, imagination of some certain set of people, and they have actually improved upon all those imaginations. There's a lot of power in the spirit of imagination. We started all those things. Our ancestors started it. We have proof to back it up. We have so many empirical facts and proof. It's all over displayed in various museums in the world that truly, it all started from us. So for us, we belong to the lineage of very ancient civilization, which the whole current world is improving upon right now. So therefore, we still stick to that moral standards. We still stick to who we are and what we stand for.
Specifically, glass beads, cotton weaving, and lost wax method, and Ife that has an electromagnetic force which has been converted into computing. Can you just briefly?
Well, like I said, glass bead is a very detailed and very intensive technology that has been proven. It started from Ife, cellular beads. Olokun, the wife of Oduduwa, started it. And we've gotten some crucibles now of well over 4,000 years from Igbo Olokun, where the factory then, so as it were then, was set up. It's been dated and it's well over 4,000 years. And for that, we have started realizing that it all started and it all began from us. We have a lot of scholars all over the world, great archaeologists and anthropologists that are putting all these facts together. So therefore, we are archiving and also preserving all those things right now. So for the link to Ife is the electromagnetic forces of the binary numbers. The binary numbers of zeros and ones that brings about some whole events that has happened when those combinations happened. Combinations of 16 electromagnetic forces of zeros and ones in 16 places, which gives you 256 binary numbers. And that can go into infinity. It has a link to every event and occurrences that has happened several hundreds of thousands of years ago, and even millions of years ago, during the days of plants, of the population in the sea, the population in the land, and so many other creatures all over the world. So those electromagnetic forces are now being converted to computer. It is the same concept, it's the same theory that has happened in the past that is happening now. It is that same theory, and the basis of that theory is what is used for formation of computer. Algorithms, same as the couples of Ife.
Thank you. there's always this mistake about jungle. Kabesi, can you tell us the social political organization of Yorubas? You know, the chief or the female, to show how advanced
Well,
it has been.
that kind of civilization in terms of governance, kingship and governance started from us. Started from us, we the Yorubas, from Ife. It's now been taken and been refined all over the world. We are the ancient civilization that started kingship system and structure of administration. Because if you look at every administrative structure today, everybody have their defined roles and functionalities. That was how Oduduwa designed it so perfectly well that structure of every governance of a particular city have been tapped from it, and that structure has to do with how to carry everybody along in terms of governance. So it's still intact till date. A typical example of the throne of Oduduwa, we have 8 chiefs to the left, we have 8 chiefs to the right, with different functions and structures, are picked by the people, and we have the Yalodis that handle women affairs, and we have the palace courts and servants that handle day-to-day running around, special duties back and forth. And these are the structures where every kingdom in Yoruba land picked their structure from, all the way to Benin Kingdom, because that structure works so well in terms of managing people and carrying people along, and carrying the entire citizenry along. So we are the cradle of it. It started from us.
Kabesi, there are only a few civilizations in the world. We have the Christian Western civilization, we have the Islamic civilization, we have the Buddhist civilization of India and China. Now, it is believed that the original African civilization, which we have been talking, has not been well articulated. And some people have said that you are at the head of original African civilization. Can you see how it could be brought together and understood?
Well, ever since I ascended the throne, I've already mentioned blending tradition and modernity, because the real civilization, like I mentioned, started from us. And trying to bring it together, we still belong to that ancient third process of civilization. And as a result, it's very important for us to see how well people of current days now, they've picked our ancient civilization and improved upon it. And the only thing to do is to use the old to match with the new, in order not for us to forget the old. And that's what I'm doing on the throne, so far so good, to keep the heritage of the Yoruba people, to see how we are linked to all our brothers and sisters across the continent of Africa, for us to uphold our tradition and heritage. And that's what I'm focusing on.
Thank you. Kabesi, so people have said that the Abrahamists, the other civilizations, have overrode our civilization because they won the information war. They bombard our people of their perspective. So do you believe on how to, that we need a constant, massive public awareness campaign?
Absolutely, we need that massive public awareness campaign, because it's all about propaganda. But what is real. Nature, you cannot do without nature. Nature does not need you. You need nature. We, ancient civilization dynasty, we believe in forces of nature. And it's very difficult to eradicate our beliefs and what we stand for. As a result, everything that has to do with Abrahamic belief was gotten from horse. And it's because it's not very well aligned and put together. That's the reason why the Abrahamic belief will want to lord over supremacy, and their own it's not up to 5,000 years old, not up to even 4,000 years old. We've had kings on this throne that ruled for over 2,000 years. We've had several dynasties. This is the third dynasty of Ife. And as a result, we definitely belong to the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days, very old. And as a result, it's important for us to know who we are, where we stand, and what is the future going to say about us and hold for us.
Thank you, Kabesi. You, Obi of Onitsha, Ata, Jaja, and Akuka are the trustees of Asha Foundation. Can you tell us a bit, how you feel about Asha Foundation?
Well, Asha Foundation is inevitable. That's what we are, who we are, what we should believe in. And that foundation is a foundation that actually we are planning to use to propel who we are and tell our story to the whole world. And have very strong links to what our ancestors believe in. Asha Foundation, we know that we need a lot of support globally, not only in Nigeria, but we need that global support because it started from us. And nobody can tell our story for us. We have to tell our stories by ourselves. And I want to thank the gentleman behind it, Justice Faloye. It's been wonderful, very passionate, very firebrand, purpose-driven, focus-driven, and he wants to let the world know who really we are, and so far so good. We will keep praying for him, for God to continue to guide and protect him, see him through in everything he does. We are fully in support of Asha Foundation, and we know that we can still do better than what we're doing right now.
What your greatest, your greatest followers are believed to be Brazil, the diaspora. What kind of message do you have for Afro-Brazilians and Afro-Americans who are not sure which group they come from but want part of to regain their cultural identity?
Well, yes, I'm very strong with the Afro-Brazilian lineage because that's part of us. They are our brothers. They left from us. They are our tribe that they left several centuries ago due to transatlantic slave trade. So therefore, they still kept on to some of our heritage. They still kept on to some of our tradition and culture. And as a result, we will continue to look for them, support their moves, support their initiatives, and make sure that things are done the appropriate way. It's very important for us to let them know that this is their root, this is how we all started, and this is who we are, and this is where we're going to. It's very important for us to know that. It's critical for us to know that really and truly everything that we're doing, our ancestors have done them in the past, and we need to completely uphold our heritage, and that's what we're upholding right now.
Thank you, Kabesi.
God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you, Kabesi.